Do not throw away your money betting on the NBA playoffs. I promise you, if you do not follow the strategies in this video, your wallet is going to get swept like a tired 8 seed. This is Gold Boys, the world's #1 sports betting community on the internet, and by the end of this video, you have a better idea on how to bet this year's NBA playoffs with do's, don'ts, and some strategies to win some bets and build your bankroll. Plus, you'll get our favorites and value picks for who's going to win it all. Let's start with the obvious. NBA playoff betting is nothing like the regular season. Rotations tighten, starters play 40+ minutes, coaching actually matters for once, and every single possession starts to feel like life or death. The problem is, most casual bettors treat the playoffs like any other night in February. They see a 7-point spread and think, oh, the Celtics got this. Meanwhile, they're ignoring key playoff factors like pace changes, desperation games, or defensive matchups that become way more important. You know the playoffs are built different, so your mindset has to be different too. All right, let's look at some key do's and don'ts when gambling on these games. First, do think about the long-term landscape of the playoffs. We are in this for the next month and a half, so don't blow your entire bankroll on the first few games. Futures bets like series prices are a great way to protect your risk versus single game bets that may see more variance. Don't chase game-by-game momentum. It doesn't exist, and the sooner you realize that, the less likely you are to fall into a costly trap. You may be able to sense momentum within a game while live betting, but it's a mistake to do it game by game or series by series. Do bet on player props. Despite the vast resources the books put into the NBA, they still can't player price props as well as other popular bets like spreads or totals. You can still make money with a solid model and knowledge of matchups and tendencies, especially betting on less popular players. Don't sleep on underdogs in desperate spots. No professional athlete wants to hear the words Cancun on 3, and mental desperation is very real for teams on the brink of elimination. It doesn't always make them win, but it can be good for a cover. Do consider correlation parlays. Parlaying 2 picks that are related to each other, like Luka Doncic points and Lakers to cover, can be an efficient way to boost your payout. Don't bet favorites blindly. Favorites are overvalued in the playoffs because of the public bias. There's far more money on these games than the regular season, which means the favorites are even more juiced. And finally, do consider game totals, not just who's gonna win. Everyone loves spreads and money lines, but overs and unders in playoff games are often mispriced, especially after extreme shooting nights. Keep an eye on factors like fatigue and pace of play. That may seem like a lot, but our Gold Boys experts are seasoned handicappers who consider all of these factors and more. Okay, now I'm gonna give you 3 things I think about before I bet on any playoff game. First, are there any injuries to players that play significant minutes? And I'm not just talking about stars, I'm talking about guys like Austin Reeves, Derek White, or Josh Hart, guys whose minutes spike and whose absence screws up second units. If a secondary ball handler is out, that screws up the whole bench flow. That's value. And always, always, always wait to bet on a game where a key player is a game time decision. You want to have all of the info you can before you lock your pick in. Second, ask yourself, what kind of market movement is happening? Watch the line, not just where it ends, but where it starts. If a line opens at -3.5 and jumps to -5.5 by tip-off, something changed. Follow reverse line movement too, where most of the money is on one team, but the lines move the opposite direction. That's often sharp action. Books don't adjust lines because they feel like it. They do it to control risk. And finally, check your narratives and biases. This one is spicy. Most of your losses are because you bet on vibes. You bet because you like the team, but the public falls in love with teams after big wins, especially blowouts. For example, Game 1, Denver smacks Minnesota. Game 2, spread opens even wider, but that's a trap because the Timberwolves adjust. The books bait more casual bettors, and value hides on the side that just got humiliated. At Gold Boys, we're constantly thinking about these things, so you don't have to. And finally, I'll leave you with some interesting playoff bet stats to consider and our picks to win it all. Remember when we talked about desperate teams earlier? Well, it just so happens that in Game 3s, teams that are down 0-2 cover the spread over 60% of the time. They'll do anything to not go into that 0-3 hole. We also see some interesting trends for Game 7s. When the series is tied 3-3, home teams have won 57.8% of the time against the spread. And rest is an even bigger factor. The more well-rested team has produced over 60% win rate against the spread. And to win it all, the data backs the Thunder and Celtics, and that's why they're the favorites. But don't sleep on the Cavs, Warriors, and Timberwolves as value picks. Subscribe to the channel for more betting strategies and hit the link in the description for picks that actually win all playoffs long.